Hey guys, thanks for checking us out here at Media Unlocked. My name's Eric, and today we're doing a lighting workshop with our lovely model, Erin. So, in this workshop, we're going to be talking about how to light your subject, mainly for a close-up. So we're going to have a close-up of Erin, and I'm going to be moving the light around her to show you just a little bit of how the light affects her face and how it wraps around. But we're mainly going to be using just a little floodlight that you can buy at Lowe's. So this is just a floodlight and then a floodlight clamp. And so it's not any like super big studio lights. We will be adding some backlight, and I'll be showing you how to blend using this light with a stronger backlight. But we'll get into all that in just a second.
So here's Erin. Now in this video, Erin's going to be giving us pretty much a simple facial expression. However, we're going to be using our light to manipulate that expression to create different moods and feelings. So as you can see, when I move the light around her head, it's going to cast shadows across her face. Now we're going to use these shadows to our benefit when it comes to creating these moods. For example, if we put the light above her head, it's going to cast kind of some deeper shadows under her eyes. Now if we pull the light back a little bit, we can kind of hide her face if that's kind of the feel for your scene that you're going for. This is particularly useful when you're doing a film noir setting, or if you're trying to make your character look more mysterious, or even hide their identity through the shadows that we cast across their face. Now if we move the light to the front of her face, watch the gradient or the fall off effect that happens as the light wraps around her face and kind of goes to the black towards the right side of her face. I also want you to pay attention to the shadow that's being cast on her nose and the shadow that's being cast below her chin. Now when I move the light from about eye level to below her chin, angling up, watch the effect that the shadows take in this motion. Another thing to point out with this type of lighting is that our eyes are actually drawn away from her eyes and to her nose because of her nostrils, the shadows, inside her nose. So be aware of that when you're placing your lights, especially for a shot if she's looking directly at the camera like this. If her face was tilted down a little bit, it might not be the same feeling, but if she's looking directly at the camera, our eyes are kind of drawn to her nose over being drawn to her eyes. So here we've put a backlight on the left side of Erin, kind of illuminating her and distinguishing her from our background. Now our key light, our little floodlight, is still on the right side of her face, and it's casting a soft shadow right there on the left side of her nose. Now watch as I move the light around her face, the different feeling that this gives you as the shadows kind of change position. Now the other thing I want to point out as I bring the light back around is Erin's eye light. Now this is the little sparkle, the little twinkle you see in an actor's eyes, which is often used to help connect them to their audiences. Here we have Erin and our backlight positioned in a way to where the backlight is actually spilling onto her face. You can see the little hot spot streaks on the side of her face and on her nose and on her chin. Now I'm going to take the key light and I'm going to change the distance between our key light and Erin's face, and watch as the mood changes as the light gets more intense and less intense. I also want you to notice the twinkle in her eye and how that is affected by this change. So the next thing we had Erin do was just pivot in her chair, and with this lighting setup, I wanted you to notice how her face is affected by the position of our key light. With a little bit of motion, this lighting setup can make your close-up feel more organic and engaging. So this shot's kind of moody, and we're creating this by putting the backlight and the key light both on the right side of Erin's face, and this casts a pretty deep shadow right there on her nose. Now we're using this shadow as kind of a disconnect between us and Erin's character. This shadow also gives us an uneasy feeling, so if we're casting her as kind of a villainous character, or maybe she's like a spy or something, and we want to give more of a sense of like mystery to her, we would use a lighting setup kind of like this one. Now on the contrary of this, if we want to flip the lighting source to the left side of her face, it gives more of an even glow across her face, and it hides this shadow. Now a shot like this is more beautifying, so maybe if we're casting her as more of a princess or a damsel in distress, and we want her to be that character, we want to give her a lighting source or a lighting setup that complements the character that we're casting for Foo. So think about that next time you go to lighting one of your characters.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this lighting workshop video we've done for you today. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a comment on this video on different lighting techniques or areas of lighting that you'd like us to touch on in the future. This is going to be the first of many lighting workshops that we do here at Media Unlocked, so we hope that we can help you guys understand more about lighting so you can apply it to your films and make them look great. Be sure to check out our blogs at MediaUnlocked.net, and we'll see you next time.